Joining us on Houston Sports Talk is Houston Dash midfielder Becky Edwards. She was selected by the Dash in the 2014 NWSL expansion draft from the Portland Thorns. Thank you so much for joining us, Becky. And first, I'd like to get your thoughts on what it's like to be a part of a franchise as it starts from scratch. What's it like to be there at the very beginning, and what's this process been like for you guys?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, first of all. It's definitely been a different experience for me. In the past, I've played on teams that were a bit more established, but it's been a fun experience. It's been a growing experience to come in and kind of, as a leader on the team, to kind of build a culture and build a style of play on a new team is difficult at times, but it's been a fun experience to kind of set the foundation, and hopefully in years to come we can continue to grow in every way.
Well, your record so far is 5-10-2 as we record this, and I just want to get your thoughts on where you think the team is at this point. Are there any particular goals that the team has set as you finish the first season?
Going into the last 7 games or so, I think we're in a good place, good relatively speaking. As an expansion team, we've had our ups and downs. Many of the other teams are established. They know each other better. They've played together for at least a year. Going into our last 6 or 7 games, we have a slight chance to make the playoffs, and I think that's in the back of our heads. And recently some results have gone in our favor, so we need to come out. We play Chicago on Saturday and Seattle next Wednesday. We need to come out with the mindset that we need 3 points in each of those games and do whatever we can to stay in contention. As far as goals go, we set goals in the beginning of the season, and we kind of took it in patches of games and said, okay, after 8 games, I believe it was, we want this many points, and at times we've definitely fell short of that, and I think that will happen, but our overall goal was to make the playoffs, and yes, there's still a chance for that, but we want to continue progressing every game and getting better every game, and also working towards the future.
A little over a year ago when you were playing in Portland, you had an ACL tear, but remarkably this year, after missing the rest of last year, you're leading the Dash in minutes, and I believe you're the only player to start every game. How difficult was the recovery, and what's it mean just to have played every game this season?
Yeah, tearing my ACL last year in Portland, that was the first major injury I've ever had. And it was disappointing starting the first 10 games for them and playing in the first 10 games, and going down with the ACL was, mentally and physically difficult. And I stayed out in Portland and did my rehab through December and kind of eased into playing again, even throughout preseason. It was a learning experience, and I learned a lot about myself and took care of my body really well and had to recover in that sense. But I feel good with where I'm at. I just have to, take a little extra care, but I'm over a year out now and feeling good and ready to continue to fight on the field each game.
Well, you played at Florida State. That's where you played soccer in college, and then you bounced from team to team, more than one team a year. That's kind of women's soccer a little bit where it's been. You won't be graded on this quiz, but can you rattle off each team and city you played in so far?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2009 from Florida State University, and I was drafted by FC Gold Pride in the WPS, the Women's Professional Soccer League, and I played there in 2010. After that, the team folded, and I signed with Western New York Flash in 2011. Following the 2011 WCS season, I went and played in Sweden and the Damallsvenskan for a team called Hammarby for 7 weeks. And after that, the whole league folded. The WPS folded. So I signed with a different Swedish team, Kristianstad, in the south of Sweden, and I played there in all of 2012. Came back to the U.S. in 2013 and signed with Portland, and then was taken in the expansion draft by Houston.
Yeah, I'm just tired listening to all that. That's amazing. You're going through all this for the sport you love. What does it take? What kind of passion and perseverance do you need to pursue a professional women's soccer career?
Yeah, it's definitely a very unstable career at the moment. I hope that women's soccer continues to grow, and just having a team here in Houston and having the Houston Dynamo organization buy into this and back a women's team is incredible, and I'm incredibly grateful for Chris Canetti and Brian Ching and everyone who's made it possible to have a team here. While I'm young, it's fun. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy adventures. I enjoy meeting new people. I can't really complain about off the field, but I am looking forward to the day when I have some stability, can kind of be with the team for more than a year and build relationships off the field as well, and kind of make a life with wherever I am.
Obviously, the money isn't that huge in women's soccer. And from what I understand, many of your teammates stay with host families in Houston. Is that correct? To help with the cost?
Yes, that's correct.
I got to imagine that's got to help really forge a special tie with this community. What does that mean? And how has your experience in Houston been so far?
Yeah, I mean, some of the girls live with host families. I lived with a host family my rookie year. And for me, during that time, it was a great experience. I still talk to the family that I lived with, once a month, and vacation with them occasionally in the off season. So it's definitely a cool experience to have those ties to families in the community. And, most of them have kids who are playing or are somehow related to the soccer community here in Houston. So if we can, through word of mouth and build relationships with them and kind of get the word out, hey, come to our games, hey, support women's soccer. I think that's a big initiative that we've taken, and even just for the younger players to have somewhat of a family to go home to each night. I think on a personal level, that's pretty cool.
One of the cool things I know with the community is you had that sellout crowd the first Dash home game, and the team went into the stands right after the game was over with, interacted with the fans. You guys took pictures. It was a real unique event in pro sports, period. What was that whole experience like?
Yeah, that was a special game, the first game against Portland, and I think they had to open up the upper bowl so that more people could come. And, when you have players like Alex Morgan come into town, people are attracted to that. And I hope that we can continue in the future to get bigger crowds like we did in that first game. But that's something that we always make a priority to do, is interact with the fans, sign autographs, take pictures. We know how important this league is and how vulnerable it still is. It's only in its second year, so we want to continue to have a job here and continue to do what we love. So we know that that's part of the job, even win or lose. We lost that very first game, but we knew that we had to get up, sign autographs, interact with the kids, and put on a happy face.
Well, I know one of the cooler moments for you happened last month when you took a trip to the U.S. Open golf tournament. And it was a pretty big weekend from what I heard. What took you out to Pinehurst, North Carolina, for those who don't know this story?
Yes. My boyfriend plays golf on the PGA Tour and the European Tour. He also played golf at Florida State University. And he tied for fourth at the U.S. Open. And in his tie for fourth, he qualified for the Masters next year and got his PGA Tour card for next year as well. So it was a special experience that I was able to spend that with him. And it worked out in our schedule that we had 4 days off, which was pretty ironic. It was a great time for him, and he's doing well.
And it's got to be quite a difficult deal with you and your sport. You're going from city to city, year to year, and then he's traveling around, consistently. What's it been like to deal with all of that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but we've been doing distance for a long time, and we both support each other so much. I love to see him following his dreams, and he's just as supportive in following mine. And, now that he has his PGA Tour card and back in the U.S., he's able to travel a bit more and come to Houston in between his tournaments. So he likes to practice and work out here, and he has a place to do that. So we make it work.
Well, you've been listening to Houston Dash midfielder Becky Edwards. Pleasure to have you with us, Becky. Thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck to you in the Dash the rest of the way.
Yeah, thanks for having me.